Virginia State Police. We have two members from Virginia State Police who are up on the mountain also. Montgomery County, Maryland Police Department, they have a lieutenant who's behind me and to my right who will say something as we are finishing up. And eight investigators and the lieutenant are here today. We have the Commonwealth Attorney, who those of you from this area certainly know, Randy Krantz. We have the Bedford County Department of Public Safety, Fire and Rescue up on the mountain. We have members of the fire departments here. And we have Radford University, Dr. Boyd, who is a forensic anthropologist, who is up on the mountain also. I'd also like to recognize individuals and institutions in this area that step forward to assist us in this effort here on the mountain. Liberty University, they are providing food, they are feeding the masses up here on the mountain 2 days. They have also sent one of their buses that will transport our investigators and other people up on the mountain because there is such limited parking up on the mountain, and it's wet, as you can imagine. In fact, we already have one four-wheel drive truck stuck. I'm hoping that's out by now. Ed Owens Market, which is in Forest, New London on 460. Thaxton Baptist Church, which we're here today in their facility. The Thaxton Community Center. The Bedford County Sheriff's Office RSVPs, which are volunteers. They are driving the vans up and down the mountain, and Caitlin's Tire Center. We can't thank these people enough. They've just been so gracious in providing services and food, transportation to our department and getting people back and forth on the mountain. As in the past, particular pieces of information and evidence have surfaced that dictate certain criminal investigation procedures be deployed in this area to increase the possibility of a successful conclusion in this case. The efforts today are spearheaded by the FBI's Evidence Recovery Team, ERT, headquartered in Richmond, Virginia. The team is here to process certain locations on the mountain that have become a location of interest as a result of the investigative efforts of the combined task force of the Bedford County Sheriff's Office, Montgomery County, Maryland Police Department, the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and the Virginia State Police. We are concentrating today on specific areas on the mountain that the ERT unit will process through a forensic dig, an examination of specimens gathered through this dig. It is important for you as the press to understand that traffic on the mountain, if you want to go up, I know some of you have already been there, but it will be restricted to a degree. Please be careful. If you've been up there, don't go again. If you haven't been up there, go ahead and get up and take some photographs, whatever you need to do. The investigative work of this task force, regardless of the outcome of today's efforts, will be as tenacious as humanly possible with the target of locating these children and providing the parents closure in this nightmare that no parent should be forced to endure. With that, I will ask Randy Krantz, our Commonwealth Attorney, if he'll make a comment.
I'll be very brief. When you have an operation of this nature, one of the things that you have to keep in mind is what your mission is. You have to maintain mission focus, and our mission focus is to bring these children home, if at all possible. This case will be resolved. Now, what we need is people to understand this, and that is the people of Bedford County, the community of Taylor's Mountain, did not ask for this. This was brought to them. And the overwhelming support that we have had has helped further this investigation, but we need more. And what I would ask just from a human appeal is this, that anyone that believes they may have information that may be helpful to us, both regarding today and in the future aspects of our investigation, please come forward. You're not just helping law enforcement do its job, you're helping a mother and a father have some peace. The other thing, though, that I would remind, at this stage of the investigation, with the information that we have ascertained, the willful withholding of information, the willful obstruction of the investigation by anyone is a serious matter. And so this is one of those situations that there shouldn't be any fence setting. There shouldn't be, not to make a choice is to make a choice. And so, as the Commonwealth's attorney, I am appealing for people to come forward as the other law enforcement agencies to do the right thing, to do what is necessary to bring these children home. To do so would be greatly appreciated. To do so not only hinders the investigation, quite simply, ladies and gentlemen, it's wrong. Thank you.
I'll ask Lieutenant Sean Gagan if he, from Montgomery County Maryland Police Department, if he would make some comments.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good morning. I would like to thank Sheriff Mike Brown, Commonwealth's Attorney Randy Krantz, the Virginia State Police, the FBI, and the men and women of the Bedford Sheriff's Office for their ongoing support in the investigation into the disappearance of the Lyon sisters. Detectives from the Montgomery County Department of Police, as well as from our partner agencies here in Virginia, have aggressively investigated the case wherever it has led us. The public has played an important role in providing valuable information, but our work is not yet done. As we draw closer to a conclusion, we're still looking to the public for any information that they may have on the disappearance of the Lyon sisters and those responsible. We have come a long way, and we will relentlessly pursue this investigation until all the people responsible for the girls' disappearance are brought to justice. Thank you.
And we will certainly take questions. I don't know that we're going to be able to answer a lot of them.
What brought you to the specific spots where those tents are set up? I mean, those are small little spots.
As I said in my comments, certain information and certain pieces of evidence. And I can't go any further than that.
How long do you expect to be up there?
Right now, we're looking at 2 days. Could that change? Yes, it could. We hope the weather will cooperate a little bit with us, but I don't know that it's going to or not, because it's miserable up on the mountain now. But yeah, it could change. Right now, it's 2 days. Correct.
The lieutenant says, as we draw closer to the conclusion. Do you feel you're drawing closer to a conclusion?
Yes, we do.
Why?
Can't tell you. I don't want to say. I mean, you know. I mean, y'all know they have a problem before you ask me the question. What my response is going to be. I wish it could be more detailed, but it can't. But
Sure.
there are certain things that have occurred that, you know, evidence, information that is drawing us to this location or to draw us to this effort today. Randy, you want to?
Two things. Obviously, we're not going to discuss, cannot discuss any specific types of evidence of information, but reinforcing the point that I made earlier. Human intelligence, human information is the key to this case. And it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody that may know something or who has already cooperated with us had any involvement. But as our partners in the media, as y'all have done your job, you've been great help to law enforcement by putting the information that could be released out there. And that has helped us to get to the truth. And that's our primary job. It is just as much our job in this case to clear the innocent as it is to convict the guilty and to bring resolution to these parents. And in that context, it is important that people who say, well, you know, I don't think I know anything, but now that as I'm educating myself about this case, am I hearing about this case, something may trigger. And that's what we're appealing to. We're asking for that affirmative help. On the other hand, we're sending a cautionary message. to those who have knowledge and willfully withhold it. That is not only obstructing, and as an obstructive nature, it is morally wrong.
Patricia Welch was due back in court last week, and it looked like it was continued. Can you explain what happened?
I'm sorry, you said
Patricia Welch?
Sure, I can explain that procedure. Mrs. Welch, an initial court appearance here in Virginia on a felony charge is what is called an attorney advisement. And the purpose of that is to explain to someone and reinforce their right to counsel. And if they, for some reason, could not afford counsel, one could be appointed for them. And that date is set aside as a control date, so if someone needs court-appointed counsel, that would be the day the court would do that. On the other hand, if they retain their own counsel, as Mrs. Welch has done, and that counsel sends a letter to the court affirming their representation, there's no need for that initial court date.
And she's right now still only charged with perjury?
That is correct.
Okay, and
Can I
that was
ask
for
a
lying to the
question?
learned grand jury?
That is the assertion that she made false statements. And that's what perjury is the willful material false statements while under oath.
Sheriff, could I ask you, you said that going back up on the mountain, you've got some investigative leads. Did you also use any kind of science, technology in order to find those spots as well?
Yeah, we've used, I think I spoke to you earlier and said we have a forensic pathologist here from the university, from Radford University. He has been with us since day one, Dr. Boyd. And yeah, there are certain scientific pieces of scientific evidence that we are aware of that we will certainly be using in closing the investigation.
What I mean by that is...
I can't tell you what, again, I won't say what they are.
Was there any kind of machinery used, like X-ray or anything like that?
Yeah, we had some ground penetration. We had ground penetration there in the area. We've had canines in the area, and so we've used both.
And that has helped in identifying these
Yes,
locations?
absolutely. Not only identifying, but getting, pushing some areas out of the area that we probably are not going to be finding anything.
If you find remains, are you ready to charge somebody?
See again?
If you find some remains up there, are you ready
That's
to charge
a question
somebody?
for the Commonwealth Attorney.
Well, the bottom line is regardless of the type of evidence, whether it be physical remains or other information, that's a decision that will be based on the totality of the evidence and the law, what the law says we can do. And again, I have to just keep emphasizing, in a criminal investigation of this nature, you're looking at usually three types of evidence: statements, scientific or forensic evidence, and admissions. Statements from others that may be helpful, admissions from those that may be involved, and forensic evidence. And so the decision of who, what, and when to charge will be based on the totality of those circumstances. But here's what I can say. When that evidence comes together and it's been properly assessed, whatever decisions needs to be made will be made.
Now, is that something, Randy, that you would do in your office directly, or would that go back to the grand jury for, say, a direct indictment type situation?
All options are on the table.
Sheriff, should Cliff Boyd's presence be an indication that you expect to find human remains up there today?
Tim, say it again, I'm sorry.
Should the presence of Mr. Boyd and some of the other stuff up there, the sifters and things that we saw up there on the mountain, should that be an indication that you expect to find human remains up there today?
We would hope to. I can't say we expect it.
If you get to that point and you believe the remains to be the Lyon sisters, what would be the next step as far as how this progresses?
Well, again, that would go to the forensic process and would be up to
Would
the grand
identification
jury.
need to be made?
Right.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that's one thing, again, we're not going to speculate beyond where we are. With any type of forensic evidence, by its very definition, it would have to be forensically examined, processed, and properly identified or excluded. And so what we do next will depend on what we find and what those results are.
And the medical examiner's office would play a tremendous role in that. But Tim, do you want to comment on any of the, like, Paul's
I got a
questions
question.
on scientific stuff?
No, because I believe a lot of that information is going to come through the state of Virginia. And so,
Since this is Maryland and Virginia, and you do charge someone, where would the trial take place? And would it be federal, local, state?
All, and Denise, to give you a straightforward answer, any and all where possible.
Okay,
It can be a Virginia prosecution, it could be a Maryland prosecution, it could be both, and it could also involve federal.
thank you.
Well, the one question I've got, I know social media has a lot to do, with getting the information out there. And I have the Taylor's Mountain Descendants page. That's my page. And I need to know what you want me to do to put it out there so that I can have the Taylor's Mountain folk feel a little more comfortable and a little more at ease. So maybe if they do know something, that they can come forward. I need you to let me know what I can do. I can, blast out all kind of things, but I need you to tell me how you want me to approach it so that they will possibly come forward if they know anything.
You are not going to get away until we have an opportunity to talk.
All right.
And we know, Randy chatted earlier and filled us in on what you were doing and how you could do it. And you could help. I mean,
Yeah.
the social media is a tremendous tool for law enforcement. So absolutely, we want to talk to you before
Okay.
you leave.
Because people need to know that if they
Yes.
have some kind of information,
Go ahead.
Sorry, did this come after information coming out of the grand jury?
We can't discuss anything about the grand jury.
Orange. Like the
This might be a
thing.
question for Lieutenant Gagan. I would assume that the John Deere line that brought into the process, are they aware that you all were down here today and what kinds of conversations are taking place?
Cindy Orange.
Yes.
I believe the family has been updated throughout the course of the investigation. The detectives that are involved in the case have made sure to keep them up to date as to what is how the investigation is proceeding.
Sheriff, how big of an impact has this case been on your department?
Well, the impact has been twofold. Number one is the stress that has been with the department. I mean, we're all everybody in our department, in Montgomery, the Commonwealth Attorney, State Police, everything. We want so bad to bring this to a successful conclusion, bring the information as to where the children are so that they, I think I said in my first conference, that they receive a Christian burial, an appropriate burial. So it's been playing on our mind, on our psyche, it's just been bad on us too. Financially, it's been very difficult for the Fifth County Sheriff's Office. We've expended a tremendous amount of funds, and we would do it all over again. We don't have any problems with doing that. And our Board of Supervisors, I can tell you, and our county administrator has agreed everything that we need to do, we can do it. We need to do it, which we have done. So it's twofold.
Well, Sheriff Brown, I commend you for what you've done.
Yeah.
I come from this neighborhood. I grew up here. My grandparents had businesses here, and Randy and I went all the way through school together, and it was a nice place to live, and this is a bad blot, and it was brought here. I don't think it had really anything to do with the people here, but I commend you for all your efforts that you've done, and I hope you solve this.
We're very proud of y'all. Very proud of y'all.
And I know y'all behind us.
Yes.
Yes.
We are 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're certainly not painting everybody up on taking
No.
around at the same time.
No.
Not at all. And I think Randy said it earlier, it's the people that came in, not the people that were there, that caused this problem.
Thanks.
Thank you.